The book Six Pillars of Self-Esteem is a book that deals with what self-esteem means, the importance of it, and the effect of it. But what we're going to be doing in this podcast is to dissect it, to simplify it, to make it a relatable and practical understanding of what this book is. So join us, come in for the ride to understand what it means to be a self-esteemed individual and the joy that can flow from understanding these principles and applying them into your life.
Be conscious of, to live consciously is to live in a way that aligns with that which you say you want. You can't say that I want a happy marriage and you're not spending time with each other, you don't even
Doing the act.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to the person. So when the whole thing falls apart, you start looking for who to blame.
From what he wrote there, he mentioned self-esteem is confidence in our ability to think, confidence in our ability to cope with the basic challenges of life.
True.
Whereby your ability to be esteemed comes into place when you have challenges.
So the good thing with Six Pillars actually is just the fact that it's arranged with, just like you had asked those questions. It has, so unlike maybe as a man thinketh, which is almost like, you know how you're reading a chapter in the Bible, it's just verses. But with this, it's quite an arranged journey.
Yeah, I agree. But irrespective of it being an arranged journey, as long as you're able to get the essence of it.
True.
Do you get what I mean?
True.
Because it's all interwoven.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter how the format,
true.
but it's
all
interlinked.
interwoven. Yeah, true.
So
Agreed.
I would say.
Okay, so let's get to it.
Let's
get it.
Six Pillars. I always say, Victor, I don't know where you get your own books from. Is it safe? It's like an ego thing whereby his book has to be bigger than mine. Oh yeah, put up your own again. See? It's not as massive as the other one.
Well, that's true. That's true. Okay, so maybe I think it's the fact that...
This is the hard copy. This is
the hard copy. Yeah, that's the
paperback. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am an esteemed individual. I'm not going to feel slighted in any way that your book is bigger than mine.
Exactly.
Because of the lessons I've learned from
the Six Pillars
of Self-Esteem.
True. So, I mean, the first thing when you just open the book is, he said, if self-esteem is the health of the mind, then few subjects are of comparable urgency.
Wow.
I mean, that's...
Please repeat that again. Let me digest that.
He said, if self-esteem is the health of the mind, then few subjects are of comparable urgency.
So self-esteem is the health.
It's the health of the mind. It's the health of the mind. It's quite...
It's quite deep because, funny enough, let's piggyback on as a man thinketh with regards to thought. Because thought also still links to the mind.
Yeah.
So what he's saying from your quote is that self-esteem is
the health of the mind.
The health of the mind.
Yeah.
So if you have an unhealthy self-esteem, it shows...
It has an issue, yeah. It's correlated with your thoughts and your actions, obviously. Because, so self-esteem is almost like how you're thinking and you're acting is either improving or deteriorating. Because he said something about it is the judgment you hold of yourself. So profound. So he came to a definition where he says self-esteem fully realized is the experience that we are appropriate to life and to the requirements of life.
Self-esteem fully
realized is the experience that we are appropriate to life.
Okay. Before we even dive further into exploring what self-esteem is, from the two quotes that you have shared, it gives an insight into the writer.
True.
Because you can tell from the language that he's very much an academic.
Yeah.
And the scientific aspect of it comes into play in terms of his language.
True.
I believe he is a psychotherapist.
He is a psychotherapist. Nathaniel Branden. So he's the most respected thought leader when it comes to the field of self-esteem. Yeah. He did quite a rigorous work. His books spanned quite years. This Six Pillars is actually the pillar of his work.
Okay.
You know, he had the psychology of self-esteem. That was another book. He had honoring the self. Now, even some of the pillars in this book, Self-Esteem, he now actually wrote a book about them. Yeah, wow. I know that one of your favorites used to be The Psychology of Living Consciously or something like that. Yeah, I remember.
And then he also, I think he did a book on responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
That's it.
Yeah, so he's... people have argued over time about what self-esteem, importance and everything. So I think that's why he brought quite a lot of scientific thought process in academic work into expanding on it and the importance of it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Fantastic. If I was to ask you, Victor, layman definition of what self-esteem is, if you were explaining it to a child, if you're explaining it to David, what would you say self-esteem is?
So I would say self-esteem is how we value ourselves.
Beautiful.
Yeah, how we value ourselves. That's the layman's simple term of what self-esteem. What is the value we place?
What is the value? Yes, what is the value that we place on ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay. From what he wrote there, he mentioned self-esteem is confidence in our ability to think, confidence in our ability to cope with the basic challenges of life.
True.
And I thought that was profound.
Yeah.
Whereby your ability to be esteemed comes into place when you have challenges. Yeah. How are you responding to the challenges? Because when everything is hunky-dory, when you're happy and you encounter life in that joyous state, your true self at times is not truly revealed.
Yeah.
It's when you are facing those challenges, the challenges that would question your self-worth, how do you respond? And your ability to respond in a positive way shows that you're esteemed.
Yeah, that you value yourself.
You value yourself.
Yes. So, just like you've said, in everything we're doing in life, we are manifesting the level of our self-esteem.
I like that.
Everything we do, how we even treat ourselves, how we even allow others to treat us. You know, there's this here where he said, if I respect myself and require that others deal with me respectfully, I send out signals and behave in ways that increase the likelihood that others will respond appropriately. When they do, I am reinforced and confirmed in my initial belief.
Beautiful.
So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy when it comes to self-esteem, you know, read as a man thinketh. Because what is happening is that if you don't value yourself, it will show in how you engage with people. And in that, people in the subconscious would learn and use that in treating you. But when you value yourself, it will also show in how you bring yourself in relationships with people. And people will learn also in how they treat you.
So would you compare it to like frequency, like a radio frequency?
Yes.
It's like you know when we use that term, energy.
Yes. Energy, exactly.
You know, we use it.
It's the energy we're putting out. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're emitting it.
Yeah. And based on the energy that you send out.
True.
People will
reciprocate
based
to that
on what they're getting from you. So if you're not projecting one of belief in self, belief in self-worth, then man, as you know, in the Bible will say, unfortunately, man by nature, we are infinitely wicked.
Yeah.
It takes the grace of God to be wicked. So it takes the grace of God to be able to step beyond that natural inclination to be selfish and to be self-absorbed.
Yeah.
So if you are projecting yourself in a way whereby you can be taken advantage of, you'll be sure that you will be taken advantage of.
True.
So you always have to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward.
Yeah. So it's just like where he will talk about the fact that somebody who does not truly love themselves cannot actually love another person.
I agree.
Because you don't know what that experience is.
Yes.
And when you truly love yourself, you value yourself, you are going to do what is necessary. You're going to treat yourself like somebody you respect, somebody you value. So it's quite an important concept that we must value. There's this thing, he said, self-concept is destiny.
Wow.
The idea of what we think of ourselves is what is guiding our journey in life.
Wow.
Because it's going to direct how we stretch ourselves, what we do, the kind of goals we try to attain. That's still self-esteem. That's why he says, if it is unhealthy, it's affecting the choices and even what you choose to do with life. And you see somebody in 10 years' time, you're with somebody, you look at in 10 years' time, you see the results of their life juxtaposed with another person. It just tells you the level of how they value themselves. Because whatever it is they think they should be doing, what they feel they should be getting, whatever, they will put themselves in it because they believe it is the concept of their mind. That's why he says self-concept is destiny.
It's destiny.
Yeah, so if your self-esteem is poor, it's a problem. It's a big problem that has to be sorted. And it's one of the things, so like a psychotherapist it's one of the things most people, go into psychotherapy, even in coaching, struggling with the story in the mind and the concept of what the mind believes of itself.
Yes.
Yes, and you want to help that person to be able to override what has been playing as its own self-concept. And you can only do that by exposing the person to new experiences and for the person to start taking different actions. Do you understand? To start seeing. It's just like when we're talking in the other podcast, in As a Man Thinketh, and you talked about piano. That act of doing that and finally getting to a point where you have actually started getting something, it expands your self-esteem.
Yes.
You're seeing yourself as somebody who can actually do this thing, who can learn this thing, who can be this person. Yeah.
When you mentioned that, what was playing in my mind was the fact that in order for you to have a healthy sense of self-identity and self-concept, it involves having experiences.
Yes.
Because if you haven't walked the walk, what tends to happen, I believe he mentioned that you start to have similar imposter syndrome because you know that guess what?
Exactly.
In as much as society or my environment is calling me out to be a particular person, you know in your heart of heart that guess what? I'm not quite there. The reason why you know that you're not quite there is because the work that you need to do, you haven't done it. And it's similar to what we were talking about in the, As a Man Thinketh. Having a vision, having a dream is one thing. Your ability to walk into it and step into it is another thing. So if you're able to actively do those things, those baby steps, taking them, eventually your idea of self-concept will improve. Like the piano example, when I said, it took me 2.5 years. Within that first year, if anyone had said to me, "Oh, Toju, you're brilliant," in my mind, I was even if they're trying to rub my ego, I'm like, not really, because I know that the amount of work, the level of expertise that is required for me to be called brilliant, I haven't quite done it yet.
Proper self-evaluation.
That's it.
Proper self-evaluation. That's also self-esteem.
That idea of imposter syndrome now creeps in.
Yeah. So it's also because, he was able to also say that you see people who are boastful, that's not really healthy self-esteem. That's a different thing. that self-esteem has a lot to do with a proper self-evaluation. You know, you're not over-bloating what you can do and what, you understand where you are and understand how you can evolve. You know, he says, high self-esteem seeks the challenge and stimulation of worthwhile and demanding goals. Reaching such goals nurtures good self-esteem. Low self-esteem seeks the safety of the familiar and undemanding.
Of course.
Confining oneself to the familiar and undemanding serves to weaken self-esteem. So it's almost like you're in your comfort zone, you're in your cocoon, you know. That's an exhibition that your concept of self is poor, is low. You don't believe that you are worthy to engage with the challenges of life and to be able to achieve things, you know. But when you start engaging with things, that's why self-esteem, just like you said, is like a frequency.
Yeah.
And it's by doing and acting. Do you understand?
Yes.
You either improve it or you diminish it.
Yes.
You know, so it's just a thing that you see people who have high self-esteem, you see their ambition, you see how they're going about life. It's the concept they have of themselves. They in their mind, because he says we can lie to anybody, but we can't lie to ourselves. The real concept of who we think we are. And who we think we are is guiding everything. Think of even, marriage relationships, for instance. To be loved, do you understand? You have to feel that you're worthy of love. You have to feel that you're worthy. For you to come to have...
To recognize it.
Yeah. To have that loving relationship with somebody, you have to know that you're worthy of it. Do you understand? And you know you can give it. You're not there feeling like this, like... You can be an imposter syndrome in love. I mean, that's another different thing. And before you know it, like he said, the tendency to, what's the word he used? So the tendency to even destroy the relationship will be there. If you don't have high self-esteem of yourself, it's almost, you're watching the whole situation that this is not real.
Yes.
If somebody is loving you authentically, your fear will always be the fact that this will not last.
It's like, I think he's like happiness saboteur.
A saboteur,
like
that. That's it. You become a saboteur for that thing. You're in an experience and it's looking good, but because you just feel like this is not real, I am not worthy of this, your mind is now starts perpetuating a situation where it has to happen that that thing fails so that you can actually now finally tell yourself, I said it.
Yes.
That this is not, you know. So self-esteem is I would say one of the most, it's the most, you said it's the health of the mind. If the mind is not healthy, then, I mean, what else? What can we really do?
Beautiful.
That means even the thinking is wrong. So as a man thinketh is even struggling when the self-esteem is...
Beautiful.
Yeah.
When I was reading this, there's a part that stuck out to me that I want to read out to you to get your take on this. Talking about why self-esteem is important. It says that we need self-esteem because our life and well-being depends on our ability to think. This is the touch before.
Yeah.
It says the right use of our consciousness.
No, I probably just pick up. Isn't automatic. It isn't wired by nature.
Therefore, there is a crucial element of choice. He went on to say this. This is where I had my aha moment. He said, nature has designed the organs and system of our bodies to function automatically in the service of our life without our volition, our intervention.
Yeah.
But the mind is different.
Yes. It left that one to us.
Wait now. It says, nature has given us an extraordinary responsibility, the option of turning the searchlight of consciousness brighter or dimmer or lower.
Yeah.
This is the option of seeking awareness or not bothering to seek it or actually avoiding it.
Yeah.
So the option of thinking or not thinking, this is the root of our freedom and our responsibility. And I thought, whoa.
Wow.
That for me was like a penny dropping moment.
Whereby
the way we have been created, as we're sitting down here, if you're in full health, you're breathing, your eyes, you're blinking, your organs are able to function without
on its
you.
own.
On its
You're
own.
not the one pumping your heart, it's pumping
At
on its
all.
own.
On its own volition, nature takes care of how the body works. But when it comes to
your mind,
consciousness,
that's your choice.
That's your choice. That's your choice. And that for me says a lot about creator and says a lot about responsibility.
Yes. And free will. It says a lot about free will, that life has given you the choice to make of your life what
it is.
Yeah, what it is,
So you can either increase it or you can decrease it.
Yeah.
The choice is yours.
The choice is ours.
Okay. How do we tie that in with, there's that word that I'm sure we all know, procrastination. I know it's not in there, but because as we were talking, it just dawned on me, in terms of our own volition, the choice and all of that. What happens with individuals where when you have that bout of procrastination, and I know that even for me, there are times whereby I don't feel like doing anything. Right? So does that mean that my self-esteem is low? Or does that mean, what exactly does that mean? And how does procrastination tie in with the concept of self-esteem?
Yeah, so because, procrastination is your mind trying to, it's trying to protect you based on the story it knows about you. The mind is always going to look for the easiest way to reduce energy. Because whatever you're doing, you're going to exert energy. So the mind is playing it. But it's only you. That's why you've talked about the aspect of choice. It's only you who understands that these are the aspirations. These are the things I want to do. These are the things I want to achieve. And you know that it is action that will. So somebody of a healthy self-esteem, of higher self-esteem, will push themselves, will naturally incline themselves towards action instead of regress into safety.
Yes.
Because just like you said, high self-esteem people, you see by the kind of ambition they go after. And in those kind of ambition, it's not as if they don't procrastinate, but they structure their life in such a way that they have to go after that thing. It's either they have accountability partners, it's either they put themselves in a process where there is no room for excuses and all, because they understand how the dynamics work, but somebody who, because the truth is, the reality of your concept of who you are is guiding what you feel you are worthy of.
Wow.
What you feel, if I feel like I'm somebody who is supposed to build an organization that trains people or teaches children, and that's my ambition, and that's the concept, it's not what I think, it's what I really know that is what I can do. I will start doing everything, no matter, even if I fail, because it is how I esteem myself. It's the concept of my mind that I'm supposed to be. So whatever you're seeing is how people think about themselves. So yeah, it has a thing with procrastination.
Wow.
True.
Wow. And he mentioned something about self-efficacy.
Yes.
That self-efficacy is the capability of producing a desired result.
Yes. Confidence in the functioning of the mind, in my ability to think, to understand, to learn, to choose, and make decisions. Confidence in my ability to understand the facts of reality that fall within the sphere of my interest. So it's the trust in oneself to be able to do things. That's self-efficacy. The trust in yourself. Because think about it. Even to read a book, if you don't even believe that you are going to understand, what? You will not read the book.
You will start.
You will start reading the book. So when I'm talking about book, you're looking at people like, all these book talk. Do you understand? It is the trust in the mind that the mind will grasp what is in the book. That's why you are engaging with the book. That's self-efficacy. It's the confidence in the mind. Promoting you to a particular position and all. your self-efficacy is the one that believes that you can do that thing. Because somebody whose self-efficacy is very low will not put himself in anything he knows he's not comfortable with. But self-efficacy is saying that I will figure it out.
Yeah.
I know in my mind, I know I understand, I can learn. And, we've talked about this some time ago, where in one of the client retreats, somebody said that one of the greatest things he wants to teach his child is not just learn, but the ability to learn and unlearn.
Oh, wow. Please say that again.
The ability to learn and unlearn. Yeah,
Beautiful.
He said it's for him, he feels that's the most, because this is somebody who is in technology, and he's saying the speed of change of the present is so much that you don't know what to tell your child what to learn. But if you give them that operating system of learning how to learn, of the confidence of their mind to figure things out, no matter come what may, whatever the world is in the next 5-10 years, they'll be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And I saw a quote where you quoted something, where you put something on your status, at some point where you talked about adaptability. The strong is going to be those who can adapt.
Yeah.
That's self-esteem too.
Yes.
Because you have to.
Because if you cannot adapt, you feel
You'll
as
be
if you don't
stunted.
belong.
You feel like you don't belong.
belong. Yes.
Life will evolve past you.
Yes.
You become stagnant.
Yes.
You're not relevant again. That's a problem. So that's the self-efficacy.
Wow. As you were saying this, what just flashed in my mind's eye is there's an advert. I don't know if it's an advert or a short story that's always coming up in my YouTube feed, and it's talking about using particular like AI tools, and they'll give a scenario of someone that has worked somewhere for 20-something years, and then the boss is calling them to say that, whoa, look at this other person. He's able to do A to Z in a day, but yet you are doing this in how long? And this is someone that's been in that organization for 20-something years, as opposed to that young individual that is coming in, but that individual is coming in with a relevant skill set. So in that situation, that individual that has all that wealth of experience will start to feel a lack of self-esteem, because then they feel, wow, I can't compete with this young guy.
Exactly.
So technology actually even still plays a role in God help us. It's like someone trying to, I know what my field is. If it's for me to talk and teach, I can do that. Ask me to do anything with regards to computer or AI. I'm like, oh my goodness, I become incompetent.
Yeah, but the fact that you understand that this is your field, that's another thing also. Because if you want to go into this field, you know that there's a work to be done to level up at this. That's also self-esteem. That's why I say it's also the proper evaluation of the self. And to know that that is not something that starts making you feel less of yourself.
Got you.
Do you understand?
Yes. So you're able to assess and establish that there's a weakness there.
Exactly.
And you decide, okay, do I want to work on that, or do I just accept it as it is?
That's it. So there is a judgment there's a proper analogy, a proper evaluation of your life journey. You know that, just like you've said, you can't go and start learning this thing all of a sudden. If you're here, you're here. And that's why, nature has made it that we can't know everything. We have to work with other people. And there's a place where he talked about the fact of also self-esteem is also knowing how to nurture self-esteem in other people. In even being able to go after goals, knowing how to get people to know that they don't owe you anything. That's also self-esteem. Understanding that you don't owe anybody something. And so if I need somebody to come and work with me in this goal, I have to know how to let the person find a win-win that's appropriate to them on why they should go about it.
Beautiful.
That's the whole. That's it.
I love how we have, it's like a melting pot. We've brought the different concepts that he's touched upon. But now I want us to now narrow it down to the 6 pillars, the practices. And I love the fact that, like I said, he speaks to his profession and speaks to how his mind works. When he says they're actually practices.
Yes.
So the 6 pillars of self-esteem, the practices. Obviously, he touches upon we'll take time in going through each and every one.
Yeah.
I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just reading. I'm just naming them.
Okay.
So there's the practice of self-assertiveness.
Okay.
The practice of living purposefully.
Okay.
The practice of self-discipline.
Okay.
The practice of personal integrity.
Yeah.
The practice of acceptance, and the practice of living consciously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
The 6.
So we have put
different
all of it now.
Yeah.
We have tossed it inside the cooking pot. And
Exactly.
I say, Victor, it's up to you now. We'll just start with whichever one.
Yeah. So
in exploring.
yeah. So for me, I would say, okay, let's go with. So he put them living in no particular order, like he said.
Yes.
Living consciously, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertiveness, living purposefully, and personal integrity. Now, I like the fact that he called them the pillars and practices, because he talks about how it's an action. He focused, self-esteem is not, it's not a mumbo-jumbo thinking. No. It's in the actions, it's in doing them, in how to improve and maintain a healthy self-esteem. It's in doing them. And, so he talks about, living consciously, I'll come to...
Okay, before you even go there, and I think we kind of talked about living consciously when we talked about, turning on the light.
Yeah.
Right? Whereby you're consciously making that decision.
Yeah. So I'll pick one quote. It says, to live consciously means to seek to be aware of everything that bears on your actions, purposes, values, and goals to the best of your ability, whatever that ability may be.
I like this guy.
And to behave in accordance with that which we see and know. So it's almost just like you said, it's brightening our lights to life. It's being more conscious about life, to think more about life. And he talks about how one of the biggest issues with us as human beings is the laziness to think. Yes. Just want to glide. You don't want to think through things, consequences.
There was something that he also said when he talked about thinking, that a lot of the time, recycling other people's idea,
exactly,
thinking. And
exactly.
I was like,
yeah.
Whoa!
That was yeah. You see, so for instance, even reading a book, it's almost like you should be in a state of debate with the author.
Yes.
It's just like when we're talking about As a Man Thinketh, and you said there was something.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Because it's not a thing of just picking the book and just guzzling everything. That's also a sign of low self-esteem.
Yes.
You have placed this person as a god or something, but it is really, and that's why sometimes reading a book can be quite tasking mentally. Why? Yeah. Because it is a debate you are having. You are trying to find relevant places where it aligns to truth. And wherever you are finding that, this guy is, you probably step away from it. So it is the debate with the book. That is what is giving you the context to grasp it and be able to apply it in life and to find it valuable. So that point you raised about people just recycling things, it's a thing.
Yes.
We have to be able to engage with life. You said living consciously is living responsibly toward reality. Wow. Living responsibly towards reality.
Towards reality. And understanding what is your reality.
Yes. Telling yourself the truth. There's a place where he talked about you are married. You want a happy marriage. But what does that even mean?
What does that entail?
What does that entail?
Yes.
To live consciously is to live in a way that aligns with that which you say you want. That is it. You can't say that I want a happy marriage and you're not spending time with each other. You don't even
doing the act.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to the person. Yeah. So when the whole thing falls apart, you start looking for who to blame. That's you're not living consciously, because in living consciously, you start seeing results that affirm your self-concept.
Can you tie in living consciously with being present? That for me is like one of my mantras,
Yeah.
I'm always asking myself, are you present?
Yeah.
You know, at every moment in time, are you reining yourself back in, coming back to thoughts? It's amazing how you can be here, and you're here, and your mind
is wandering. It's lost. Yes.
Is literally doing
all over the place. Yes.
And then you being present is like, oh wow, where am I? What am I doing? And then you're able to really
yourself
back in
and observe what is really happening.
So the more you do that, the more present you are, and the more conscious you are of your environment and of your engagement. If not, like he mentions here, and as a man thinker also mentioned, you're sleepwalking.
You're
constantly sleepwalking through life.
So think of somebody who you're in an organization, and this organization, you've been there, and the organization is going nowhere. The organization is nosediving, but you can't be disturbed because you're receiving your salary. And so you had all the time to see the red flags that this organization is really going nowhere. But because you were collecting your salary, you dimmed the light of consciousness of seeing what is really happening in the environment. And then it got to a time the organization could not continue and they had to let you go. And you now start crying, why me, Lord? Why? You refused to live consciously to the realities of your life.
Your life and your environment.
Yes.
Wow.
You're in a marriage and it could be that, okay, you're not experiencing, you're not having the experience you want to experience. Or you come to a situation where somebody comes, your spouse says they are no more, they're not doing again. And it's almost like, how did we get here? But the signs were there, but you chose not to see them. You dimmed the light to consciousness. Yes. Wow. So that is a fundamental pillar.
Okay.
The fact.
So what I'll go, you know me, I have to. Oh yeah. So the next pillar will be what?
So the next pillar, let me see. Let me look at it. So from living consciously, he said acceptance. The practice of self-acceptance.
I like this one.
Yes.
I like this one. Because this one is, in a way, my own understanding of it when I was reading this was, it's showing empathy and showing love to yourself.
Yeah.
And when he was talking about self-acceptance, he said, self-esteem is something we experience. Self-acceptance is something we do.
Yeah.
And he talked about the 3 levels. That the first level has to be that self-acceptance on one side.
For myself, yes.
That has to do with that certain degree of noble selfishness. You're really thinking about yourself in a way.
To be on your own side.
Yeah. But funny enough, especially for women, but for me personally, I know that we struggle with that at times because of that concept of being the nurturer, that concept of availing yourself to everyone and wanting to think about you and put you first at times. You struggle with that. I struggle with that. I remember when I turned, for me, my aha moment was really when I like my 40th birthday. Yeah. It seems like a cliche, but I think everyone tends to have that.
There's something.
There's just something about that.
That's a wake up, like, hey.
You know, and for me, it was like all of these years.
Yeah.
It's been about my husband, my children, everybody else. And then Toju was just fading to the background.
Yeah.
Constantly fading.
Yeah.
And it took a lot for me to say, you know what? This is where you're at. Accept it.
That's the reality.
Move on. What changes can you make? And those changes for me were quite significant and very difficult because it involved putting me first. And that was something that I wasn't quite used to doing.
Yeah.
I think, and then he goes on to say the second level, to be able to say, and I love this, to be able to say that this is an expression of me, not necessarily an expression I like or I admire, but an expression of me nonetheless, at least at the time it occurred.
Yes. Yes.
So that's not your identity.
Yeah.
But saying that, but being real to say, it is what it is. You know, there's certain things about yourself, you're like, I'm not quite sure, but you have to admit it and say, you know what, this is what it is. I'm either going to do something to change it, or I'm not going to do anything to change it, but at least I'm being realistic as to what is on ground.
Exactly.
Not putting your head in the sand and saying,
I don't want to see, I don't,
it would work.
Yeah.
So, and then I think the third level in terms of acceptance, said the level of compassion. I love this.
Yes.
To know that the internal consideration
being a friend to myself.
Yes, that prompted it in the first place.
Yeah.
Being kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I find sometimes we're not kind enough.
We're
We
not.
can be kind to others.
Yeah, but to ourselves.
We
judge
struggle to
ourselves
show
the most.
compassion to ourselves.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, Victor?
I think we have this, we are the hardest judge to ourselves. And I think for some reason, I don't know, I think it just kind of, whether it makes us feel better.
I think so. Like savior mentality.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. True.
You know, it just makes us feel better when we try to tell ourselves that you just don't know anything every time. You try to put yourself under the bus consistently. And so, he said self-acceptance is self-acceptance. No, he said stated in the negative. Self-acceptance is my refusal to be in an adversarial relationship to myself. So it's very important, even when you come to the work in coaching and everything, you can't change what you have not accepted.
Wow, I like that.
So you want to work on your weight. Oh, you want to have a good marriage. You have to accept that.
This is what it is.
Yeah. You have been the problem in your marriage. You have to accept it first. That this is the reality of it. That's the being conscious to see that I've been the problem in this marriage.
Yes.
Or even if I've not been the problem, I have contributed
to it.
I need to accept that reality. And it is from accepting it that I can change it. If not, it's like an aim that you don't have, you don't know what really is going on.
Fantastic. And I think we can now tie that to the next one. That's self-responsibility.
Yes.
Because like you use the example of, for example, use the example of weight. You're aspiring to be this or do this, and you're not acting responsibly. You're not doing the needful. So they're tied to each other. And you're doing all sorts.
Anything. You have not even accepted the fact that
I'm on this journey and this is what I need to do.
Yes, and I'm overweight, and you have to accept. It can be quite painful.
Which is what I like about how he did this, whereby he now talked about that showing compassion. Because without compassion, you taking responsibility becomes too hard a pill to swallow.
Without it, true.
But with compassion, you can go, okay, all right, yourself. I am here.
It is what it is.
Because of A, B, C.
Yes, whatever. Yeah.
And these are the steps to move forward.
Yes. It's a very powerful thing. My business is where it is. I am part of the reason why that business is where it is. But until I accept the fact that I contributed to where it is, what it is, I will not do what is required to move it, because I would keep on pointing elsewhere. I have not accepted the reality. Oh, my marriage is in a turmoil. It's breaking down. I have to accept the truth that that's what's going on. And I am contributory to this situation before I can now do anything. And just like you said, you move to responsibility now. It says, we evade responsibility when we try to blame others for our actions. So I always say that this aspect of the practice of self-responsibility is one of the things I tell people when I'm working with them. I said, we are going to try an exercise for the next 1 week. No blame, no excuses, no complaints. You take responsibility for anything. There's no pointing of fingers to anybody. Change that story. Don't give room to give excuse about anything. If you fail, Accept that you fail. Think about what you need to do and do it. Don't try to point a finger to anybody. Always ask yourself, because that is the key role of a leader. A leader, it's just like 7 Habits, which we'll probably read at some point, which one of the most profound things he says is, the very moment you think the problem is out there, that very thought is the problem. That's the self-responsibility thing. Is to not say, oh, how this person is the reason that, no. Where are you contributing to this problem as regards your life? That, oh, it's because I was in that job. Why were you in that job? Why did you keep on staying in that job? Why didn't you set goals? Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you take responsibility? That's what we're saying. It's a state of unhealthy self-esteem that you are evading the responsibility to take charge of your life like an adult.
Wow.
That's this
Tough.
whole... Yeah.
Branden is not joking.
No, so Branden is actually very brutal with his whip.
Yeah.
He's similar to he's not having it with you. He's
But you know something else that I loved about the method that he uses, the concept of sentence completion.
Yeah, so that's so profound a tool.
Yes, and what I loved about it in trying to just investigate, the idea behind it was based on the fact that he feels that as humans that we have so much more within us.
Yes.
That we have so much more knowledge and wisdom that we don't account for.
Yeah.
And when doing that sentence completion, what happens is that we're now able to tap into all those hidden gems that are in us, whereby you're not overthinking it.
Of course, but that's why I tell you, just drop it.
Just right,
just drop it.
And then when you now go back to reflect on it, it's amazing. I remember I read this book. I did this in the Mind Gym. This was what, how many years ago?
7 years?
8 years ago. And I still remember, because for me, I remembered taking the time to do the sentence completion.
I know you are very big on that.
Very deliberate on that. I had my A4 book and just writing all those things down. And it was profound going back to reading those all things. The stuff that I wrote regarding the sentence completion. True. If only we can go back to that and, internalize all of that. True. The shift that will occur would have been amazing.
It's a book I recommend for quite people a lot. It's an old book now in the sense that you need to search for it to get it.
Yes.
But those things, sentence completion are powerful therapy work.
That's it.
And it's something you could do as a journal. Do you understand? So
there are a lot too.
There are a lot. There are a lot. Yeah, there are a lot. Because
I remember when I was reading this, I was like, okay,
let me try and
this.
I think even when you guys were doing the Mind Gym, I actually told you guys to attempt.
Yes, it's a lot. But but like everything else in life, if you put in the skin, you put in
you
yield the result.
True.
But it's very therapeutic and it is very informative.
Yeah, it's enlightening. It expands your level of consciousness. It makes you more aware of a lot of hidden things which you are neglecting. Because like he says, just write it down. Don't think about it. Just write it down. Just keep writing it down, right? If I took more responsibility of my life, I would be, you start writing, you start coming down with it.
And you'll be shocked.
Yes.
Because what that does, it taps into your subconscious.
Yes.
Because then you're just pouring out all of these things, all those latent things in your mind. And you're just pouring it out.
True. I remember that thing can be quite difficult. That's why people would struggle with that thing. So think about it. Just listen to what I've just said. If I was more responsible with my life, I would. He now says, list 10 things. You know how scary it is to list these things and see that you are not that responsible with your life because you're not doing the things deep down you are supposed to be doing. But that's the self-acceptance part.
Yes.
That's until you accept that, then you can start pushing towards that. You have brought to awareness the things you're supposed to do to be more responsible.
Yes.
So that's why therapy is an engagement with the truth.
I love that. Therapy is an engagement.
It's an engagement with the truth. It's to bring to bear the truth, for you to deal with it and, to be able to evolve past it. So it's quite an amazing tool for, I mean, anybody. I would recommend it for anybody.
Wow. I think we can tie in
Assertiveness.
I like this one.
Yeah.
What I have here is, this means the willingness to stand up for oneself, treating one with respect in all human, I love that, all human encounter.
Yes.
Without appropriate self-assertiveness, we are spectators, not participants. And it's similar to what we spoke about when we were talking about as a man thinketh.
Yeah.
You know, whereby even with your thoughts, if you're not really engaging in it, you're just really, you're a
just
spectator.
sleepwalking. Yeah. Your life is just happening. And you're looking at your life. So it's almost like you're in the boss of your life and you're at the back seat. And the boss is just leading you wherever.
Wherever he goes, you follow.
Do you understand?
You're a spectator.
Yes. You must choose. You must assert yourself in everything. In relationships, you should be able to take a stand.
But isn't there I would say, finding that sweet spot, finding that balance? Because if you don't find that sweet spot, that sometimes assertiveness can come across as aggressiveness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Assertiveness can come across as arrogance.
Yes.
Assertiveness can come as being egotistic.
True.
And sometimes when even looking at the female gender, when you have a woman being seen as assertive, oh my goodness, it's like she's being too bossy, she's being too this, she's being too that. So being able to find that balance and that sweet spot whereby you're assertive, but that assertiveness still comes with that, what comes to my mind, that's one of my favorite words, still comes with that level of meekness. It reminds me of my mother-in-law. That's mommy had a way of being assertive, but in the gentlest way. I can't explain it. You know how whereby someone she's assertive in terms of what she's saying. She is secure in what she's saying because it's backed by experience and knowledge. But then still giving that space and allowance for others and being able to be gentle with it. So you're still allowing that your feminine bit to come through. But knowing that I'm not a pushover. But, you know, so finding that balance sometimes can be...
That's even the feminine, that ability to be that. And people think feminine is just allowing it. No, it's not. So I think in 7 Habits, he was able to put assertiveness in a continuum where he looked at being passive at one end, being assertive at the middle, and being arrogant and aggressive in the other side. And so he says it's a lot to do with consideration, proper consideration and into the context of things, not to be overridden by life, but also not to be too loud and, arrogant, brash about it. Yes. But it is to state with consideration what you know you deserve. Do you understand? You don't let yourself be walked over. That's you being passive to life. You understand? You should be able to, in a relationship, you should be able to state your demands and your expectations. You can't just be passive and just because you don't want the other person to be upset and all. I think it's one of the things I respect so much with my wife. She would state it very clear to me. She would tell, if I wrong her, she would tell me very clearly, but with the height of respect.
The manner in which it's done. I'll give you an example. My husband and I, we went somewhere and we had a meeting with a lady that was showing us some stuff that we had to decide on. And the way in which we're bantering in terms of him asking my opinion, but me being able to still succumb to his choice, but with him understanding what my own take is, but then I'm able to still allow him. So there was that banter. There was that, which I didn't even realize was taking place. And when we had finished, she looked at, we're walking somewhere else, and she looked at me and she was like, Ma, how, she was actually almost speechless, like, How did you go about, like the way you were talking to your husband in regards to what you wanted and what, And I looked at her and I laughed and I said, well, we've been doing this dance for almost 25 years.
It's a dance,
Do you get what I mean? But
yeah.
then you've been doing it for a while. But in doing it, you get to now understand each other.
Yes.
And get to understand the
and respect
subtlety
each other.
of
Yes.
give and take,
yeah,
and that underlining respect that still comes. The fact that you're showing respect and you're being, like I always say that when it says submissiveness, but that's a book for another day, a topic for another day. But the ability to be submissive to each other means that you're giving each other that space to breathe.
Yeah.
And by so doing it, you're able to master that dance.
Yeah.
You're giving each other that space to be.
True.
Right? So learning how to do that so that brashness or that aggressiveness doesn't come because you've found that dance.
Yeah, the empathy you have. So I like how you talked about submission. I wanted to wave it to something of another. It's not. It's not of another. It's a very important thing because I find a lot that what people think submission is, especially in marriage, is just the fact that I just let whatever. No. You people have to submit to each other. And more importantly, you are submitting to the marriage. What is best for the marriage? And to have a healthy marriage, it requires a couple that has the healthy self-esteem, that they can be assertive because they have an idea in their life of what things are. You're coming to make it, just like you said about you and your husband, the both of you are coming to discuss about something. And you are able to ask, bring your own opinions. This person brings his own. Somebody who doesn't have this assertiveness will just sit back and let one person. That's a problem. And I always say that it is a shared life. So everybody's input, choice, and desires have to come into play.
I love that. It's a shared life.
It's a shared life. Yes. Really it's not so. We are submitting to the marriage. That's the most important thing. We're submitting to be able to create the best experience for both of us. So it's important that we assert our desires and wishes. I always tell my wife, I need to know what you want. I'm not God. I'm not the ruler and maker of your life. And no. I need to know, okay, this is what I'm thinking. I want you to. So when you bring your partner into things like that, what does it do? The person too starts thinking. The person is not passive in the marriage. Because the person knows you guys are going to have to discuss these things. And there's going to be arguments. There's going to be debates. There's going to be all that. Leadership comes in knowing how to navigate those conversations to be able to finally come to the best decision for all.
For both.
That's it. But if one person doesn't have that sense of assertiveness on what he or she knows is important, it's going to be a problem tomorrow.
When you're talking about, which is why I didn't want to delve into it, especially when the concept of submissiveness in that religious context, like the context of it. But a lot of the time, when even quoting scripture, taking it out of context, realizing that even when they talk about submissiveness, you're being submissive to the head, which is what God.
That's it, because that's the overarching thing.
That's it.
It's the truth you're submitting to.
So you're submitting to the truth. You're submitting to your creator. So both husband and wife are submissive to
that's
that.
The ultimate.
And by being submissive to that, to the creator, that in itself, it's able to soften the heart of both individuals.
It humbles both of you.
Seriously. So whereby both of you get to a state where you're able to interact with love and interact with compassion.
We respect it.
Respect. That's the word.
That's it. That's it.
On both sides.
Yeah. Because I always say that, and I tell men a lot. It's a very difficult responsibility because the destiny of the members of your family it's not an easy task. And so it requires a whole lot of humility. a whole lot of calmness, a whole lot of learning. It cannot be my way or the highway.
Like you said, learning and
unlearning.
Yes.
Yes, you could, in your family, you have the responsibility to ensure you give everybody that comes. So it's not just you and your wife and your kids, even the people who come in to help and all.
Yes.
As far as people are living in that home, you must have the best intention of how to give them the best experience. Because every living being is important. And their experience in this life, you don't know what the maker has in store for them. So yours is to create an enabling environment for people to experience life to the best they can.
Wow.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Wow.
So for you to say, you are the financier, I'm looking at you like this dude doesn't, you don't even know what is, you don't even know the responsibility. And that's why you see a wise man would always seek, he will always seek the advice of his wife.
Yes.
He will always seek the advice of his wife.
But Victor, do you know another thing that I've gotten to understand now is, also that responsibility, I guess on both partners, whereby ensuring that your partner is comfortable enough and friends with you. Victor, it's just like how my daughter getting to the age, I keep telling her, I'm like, she's like, Mommy, I'm like, see, when it's time to look for you, but when God is bringing your partner to you, someone that's your friend.
You know, I've been saying this people with that. I said,
because
make
when everything else
thing
goes, when you're
is
friends,
that friendship?
Oh, Victor, because with your friend, you cannot have malice with your friend. You cannot, that your friends.
It's your friend. You will stretch yourself for your friend.
You will do anything.
You will do anything for your friend.
You will confide in your friend. You would bend over backwards. You would love a friend. Your friend.
You will stretch yourself for a friend. So that's why I always, when I used to say it, people will be telling me, I'm like.
Victor, the sweetest part of my marriage started when my husband became my friend.
You can't beat that.
Do you get what I mean? And for us, it was, and this is like, almost going into almost 15 years or 20 years into marriage.
Think about
before
that.
we started being friends.
Do you understand?
All this while, I thought we were friends.
Yeah. But when you are really friends, you'll know. You'll know that we're friends.
It's so different now.
Yeah. You always want to share time with each other. You want to...
I said, I'm like, guy, you know what it is? Like, we won't laugh. I'm like, we're friends now.
Now.
It's taking almost 20 years for us to
growth,
say, guess
personal
what?
development, a lot of things.
We're friends.
Yeah. So it's
very important.
It's
friendship.
It's key. It's key. And also, marriage helps to develop the self-esteem of each other.
Oh yes.
That friendship, that relationship, because somebody of healthy self-esteem would obviously navigate towards someone of another healthy self-esteem.
Sometimes you might not too. But no, sometimes you might not. But no, or what happens is, even one. Sorry for interjecting, but when someone is self-esteem wise is stronger and you're open to accommodating the other that isn't and embracing them. And then what now happens that they now start to learn various concepts. So what now happens is that then their self-esteem
will start improving. Grow. Yeah, because what happens is the person who has a healthy self-esteem, from being themselves, they allow whoever is around them also to evolve into that, So it's a thing that the relationship over time will tell about the self-esteem of each person.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, let me reel you in. So we've done that. So
this is now living purposefully.
Yes, living purposefully.
Yeah. I just like the first thing you said.
Go on.
If you want it to work, whatever it is, marriage, you must make it your conscious purpose that it works.
Wow. You have to, as I say, you have to zero in on
it. You can't leave that. You can't say, oh, I want this marriage to work, and just be saying, no, but I want this marriage to work. How do I know you want it to work when you're not doing anything? You are not. What? Okay, so what have you done?
Put some skin in the game.
Yeah. What are you doing? Somebody say, I'm having issues in marriage. What have you done about this thing? And the major thing you keep hearing is blame on the other person. This person, And I keep on saying, if you want this thing to work, there's a work you need to do. You must act with purpose. And if you don't do those things, you keep on blaming till this thing spirals to the end. Because what is happening is that your level of consciousness is engaging with that person's level of consciousness. You know, like Einstein would say, he said, you can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it.
So insanity.
It's insanity.
Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know, my own journey when it comes to, you know, my relationship and the marriage and all of that. And, you know, being purposeful is influenced by the choices that you make.
Choices,
you know?
yes.
For example, you're in a marriage or in a relationship and you require therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy, and you know our African brothers, they're running therapy. If you require therapy, you choosing to go for therapy
that is necessary
shows that you are being purposeful.
That's purposeful. That's what is required.
That's it.
That's you being conscious of the situation.
That's it. Whereby you're choosing that relationship and you're choosing to be purposeful by making. I
love that word. You are choosing that relationship. Yeah, you're ready to do the
all
work
that it takes.
Yeah, to do the work. And he says, to live without purpose is to live at the mercy of chance.
That's dangerous.
You want to vibes on vibe.
Yes.
I mean, no. If to live purposefully is to decide and to set the goals in line with the results you want to achieve.
But isn't clarity required? I find that in order for you to, I know for me personally, for me to engage in whatever I'm doing passionately and fully,
you must have clarity.
I must have clarity. Because if I don't have clarity as to it, it's like wishy-washy. I'm not quite engaging fully. So being able to zero in and having that clarity is key.
Yeah. So you know why I love that you're asking this? Because the person who actually answered this question was you years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're the one. And
at the retreat?
Yeah. And you said,
wow.
Whatever it is that you see to do at the time, do it. And as you do it, things will get clearer. Wow. Clarity can't come from sitting.
I said that. Are you serious?
Yes.
Hey!
Yeah. Yeah, wow. You said that. So I just remember when you said this thing. Yeah. Wow. You know, I remember a conversation we were having and you said that thing. You said, let's just start doing it. As you start doing it, to get clearer.
Wow.
You know, so that's it. That most people, I want clarity. You want to go to the monk yes, that's important because you want to clear your mind and all. Yes. But nobody gets clarity without action. It's action and retrospection.
I like
that's
that. Action and retrospection.
Yes, you act, you take feedback, but you cannot get clarity without engaging.
Yeah.
It's an engagement that you get clarity. It's like when you are driving. You can't see the whole road. You can only see to the extent.
Yep.
But as you keep moving, it opens up.
That's it.
You know, that's just life.
And do you know what? When I say that, you know, coming back to our Creator, like God has a way of, when it comes to goals, especially lofty goals, He knows that if I show you the picture.
Do you understand?
You were wrong. Do you remember when you're like, oh my goodness, it's beyond me, it's bigger than me. Your ability to even step into and do what is required, you even do it.
Yeah.
So what does He do? You know, he exposes us like piecemeal.
Bit by bit. You just be dropping off.
Bit by bit. So it's like,
because what eyes
faith is like a mustard seed.
Yeah,
just
true.
take a little
bit. And you
it.
See everything in this life we see. Look at the world and how marvelous and grand it is. It's from faith. It's from the belief of somebody who believed. The first, let me use maybe the first washing machine. It's not the washing machine we're using now, but somebody believed that this thing we're doing with the hand, we can look for something to do it without the hand, you know, and came to a process. You sure it probably was manual before to what a washing machine. So it's that little bit of action, that little bit of. That's what brings, and that's what it builds. He says, it's not that achievements prove our worth, but rather that the process of achieving
journey
is the means by which we develop our effectiveness, our competence at living. Still what we've talked about,
that's it.
It's in achieving that we build the confidence in our mind that we are capable to life.
In the doing.
Yes, it is in the doing. It is in the reality. It's in the seeing. You know?
But you know the funny thing, yeah, when you think about principles and concepts, even with all the books that we're going to be exploring and looking throughout the podcast, principles, it's usually very, very, very simple.
But it is in
the principles that we are aware of or we know, but is the action of it and the consistency of it.
It's the consistency.
That brings the result.
Yeah.
That is the cuckoo.
That's the thing.
That's the problem. Is how do we keep doing it?
That's it. How do we keep ourselves on that journey? Zero in. Because think about it. I always tell people, think about what you wanted to achieve 6 months ago. What you know you were supposed to do to achieve it. My dear, start now and start doing that thing because you know you have not been doing it. Yeah. That's why you have not achieved it. Because if you started doing it, you'd learn what you needed to do, how you needed to navigate, everything.
I always say start small. I use the example of exercise. I always get that when, in terms of, I told you I want to be healthy, I want to exercise, how to go about doing it. And then the conversation will always go to my gym membership, my this, I want to sign up. Do you know what I always say? I would say, you know what? We're going to start small.
Yes.
Right?
Compound effect.
Start small, but then what I need you to do is to be consistent with it. I know you want to go to the gym, but what I need you to even do for me now is, let's even just start with every day, you're compounded. Don't always step out of your house. You're compound.
Do something.
Your steps. Walk around your house. 30 minutes.
True.
But I need you to be consistent with that, maybe 3 times a week.
Yes.
Just consistently.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It does a couple of things. When you're consistent, the compound effect, you now start to see the result.
Yes.
And then like everything else, a character is habit formed.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have done something, the rewards to that, like he mentions about like pride. Pride is the reward you get for an achievement.
Yeah. Exactly.
By you sticking to the 3 times a week of me walking around.
Yeah.
You're now proud. Like, oh, wow.
You're happy with yourself. You're happy with yourself.
With that one, I can say, okay, you know what now? Okay, now I want to now do gym.
Outside. Yeah.
So I always tell them, because if you cannot do the one that you can do within your comfort zone,
tell yourself.
Is it gym? You do the gym, but you only do it for like maybe after a month, you won't do it.
True.
But find the easiest. I always go low entry level.
Yeah.
The lowest thing.
Just start.
And be consistent with it. You're able to do that.
Yeah. Because you see the
results.
So for instance, an exercise is a it's a lifestyle. It's something. So just like you said, I think there's somewhere he talked about the fact that you can't just go to the gym and just climb on the treadmill. Like you have to, just like you have stated, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes. There has to be a goal. When you're going about, you have to be purposeful about it. But start from, just like we said, the minimal one you can do and expand from there. That's really the key thing. And so there's something
zero you in, or I want us to try to finish all the disciplines. But go ahead, you're going to say something before.
So when you look at the greats in terms of all those who have created these great organizations, Jeff Bezos, Elon, and all this, there's something he quoted from the old steel industrialist Andrew Carnegie. He said, Andrew Carnegie once stated, you can take away our factories, take away our trade, our avenues of transportation, and our money. Leave us with nothing but our organization. And in 4 years, we could reestablish ourselves.
Wow.
He says, his point was that power lies in the source of wealth, not in wealth. Wow. In the cause, not the effect.
Wow.
So it is who we are that is the wealth. I remember, and I always say this so profoundly, a statement where Christ talked about, do not tie your riches in places where moth and rot will. Let it be in the heavens. And he talks about, where is the kingdom of God? It is within you. Be that. Evolve to that person who is the wealth.
Wow.
Do you understand? Let it not be. He said, because that's where your heart will be.
Because guess what? It's amazing how he said, the more we engage with all of this, I now see how, when I say books are all connected.
Yes.
Because with this now, this ties in with A Man's Search for Meaning.
Exactly.
Whereby it's not about the external.
No.
Right? It's about what is within.
Yes,
because bearing in mind what he was going through externally, and he was still able to strive and do all that based on the power within.
That is within. That's it. That's the whole purpose. Wow. Powerful. Self-esteem.
Too much. Okay, so let's do
integrity.
Just one. Integrity,
so the practice,
yes, personal
that's
integrity.
the final one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because self-discipline kind of tied in with we touched upon it in different ways, but let's look at personal integrity.
You know, I see where he says integrity is the integration of ideals, conviction, standards, belief, and behaviors.
Yes,
that was quite profound.
Oh, can I say something, please?
Yes,
and
please.
I love this.
Yeah.
When he quoted this Spanish proverbs, take what you want, said God, and
Thank
pay
you.
for it. I love it. Oh yeah, chop block. I love that.
Yes. I love that. I remember.
Take what you want.
I looked at it. So it's like life is saying,
take.
Whatever you choose, you can be given, but there's a price to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just powerful. If you say you want to be an irresponsible person, in anything, just think about it in any way, because it's not even just about even aspirations, even the things you think you can get away with. If you act in that light, it will bring results. If you live carelessly, it's a result somewhere. You are taking, so people think about it as, okay, I choose to build this. No. In every aspect of your life, if you choose to be careless about your life, there's a result for that to pay. There's a consequence to that.
So you shall reap.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want us to do rapidly is looking at the external factors, but I would say just briefly, because at the end of the day, with all of these books, we could spend hours dissecting it.
Yeah.
But we have been able to touch upon the key concept of what self-esteem is. We've been able to talk about why it's important. We've been able to talk about the practices. And then as the book engages on the external factors, but I'll just say, just maybe like in less than 5 minutes, just touch upon what are the external factors that can influence our self-esteem. Just, he mentioned the environment of like tribal mentality. He also talked about religious mentality, where you're part and parcel of the fact that you're part and parcel of not a cult, but part and parcel of a community that can in return influence your own identity.
True. Because the way and manner of that environment is shaping your esteem. I mean, the words are powerful, practices are powerful, cultures are powerful, traditions are powerful. And that's where living consciously comes into play. If you're not very conscious of how this, because it's easy to look at another person's religion or another person's church and be seeing what is this these people are doing. It's almost looking like they are zombies and all. It's the same thing with all of us. We are in situations in life that those traditions also are affecting our self-esteem on how
our autonomy.
Yeah, our autonomy. You understand? So we have to be conscious of it. The office we go to. These are very profound things. The schools we send our children to. Yeah.
Indeed.
You have to be conscious of watching what's going on with your child as they come. You have to be. I remember my boy was going to school at some point, and for some reason I just felt like he's confident. He's not being. And I heard kind of a recommendation in a different school, and I started putting him there, and I over time. Even when I started hearing people talking about it, the belief in himself, the confidence in himself, he's able to start even being before even to greet, he's able, these things affect
our environment.
The environment affects the workplace you're going to. If you have your boss, the person who is your supervisor and all, has a great impact on your self-esteem.
Yes.
So you have to be very deliberate. That's why I keep on saying that. To practice the very pillars, all these things, you become somebody who chooses their own life. Because once you're purposeful, you take responsibility, you accept your situation, you are living consciously to the situation, you will do things to change the situation of your life. You don't just, because you stay there 1, 2, 3 years, you don't even know that boss you have that has a low self-esteem, you will call it toxic boss and all that, is filtering an energy into, and you are also taking that energy to your family. And so that's why we do what is leadership development, is being able to change the minds of
these people that are in charge of other people, to evolve them to a place where they are able to nurture those around them for the
Very
positive.
important. Because
So
they're
that-
custodians. of
Yeah, they're
people.
custodians.
Very, very important.
Exactly. So,
Okay. So in rounding up, I think, well, I want to read this regarding nurturing a child's self-esteem.
Okay.
So a child who receives respect from an adult tends to learn self-respect. Inappropriate praise, and I love this, that inappropriate praise can also be as harmful to self-esteem as
True.
inappropriate criticism.
true.
So the more specifically targeted our praise are, the more meaningful it is to the child or adult. So taking responsibility for, feedback, that feedback mechanism. I know we talked about it in As a Man Thinketh also, and then with this, in terms of criticism. And it said something, it says, as to criticism, it needs to be directed only to the child's behavior, never to the child.
Exactly.
That's one thing I had to learn. I would tell my kids, I was like, Chloe, Xavier, I don't love what you're doing, that behavior or that action, but my love for you will never change. So you're able to keep reinforcing that love, and then know that that love isn't tied to a performance. That love, like you mentioned, when we talked about As a Man Thinketh, talking to David, saying that, what, my love for you, David, will never change. But this one that you're doing, we're not going to. So being able to identify the two in terms of that feedback mechanism as a parent, and also for people in authority in schools. And he talked about the fact that teachers are like prospectors. You know how it is whereby you're back in the day, they're prospective for gold. You had see the best in whatever the situation is. So when you see a child, seeing the best in that child, I'm getting that child to realize much younger. Because I always used to differentiate this.
You have to.
I used to. So there are instances where I have said, I'm like, this thing is stupid. I remember once Xavier said, oh, you're calling me stupid. You're calling me. I said, Xavier, no. I had to back. I said, no. I said, this action is stupid. I will never call you stupid. And I'll never call you stupid. So you know how kids will, you're not relaxed. Or you're calling me a fool. I said, no, your behavior.
That thing, you are not, I'm not, you're not.
It's so important that we're able to clarify the two.
Trauma in growing up is a lot of those things from back. When you have taken the fact you have been called a fool, you have internalized it, So I think so the last thing for me, I think at the end is where he even talks about conclusion, the 7th pillar of self-esteem. He talked about the 7th pillar. So I'll just read the last thing. The last thing. He says, we do not have to catastrophize fear or discomfort. We can accept them as part of life, face them and deal with them as best we can, and keep moving in the direction of our best possibilities. But always, will is needed. Perseverance is needed. Courage is needed. The energy for this commitment can only come from the love we have for our own life.
Wow.
The love is the beginning of virtue. It is the launching pad for our highest and noblest aspiration. It is the motive, power that drives the 6 pillars. It is the 7th pillar of self-esteem. So what is it saying? At the energy behind the 6 pillars is love. It is love that makes us aspire. It is love that is the energy that drives everything. That's why he called it. That's the 7th pillar.
Yeah. It's amazing when you look at, especially profound books, how a lot of the concepts still ties in with spirituality. What's this? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Your ability to love others still flows from your ability to love yourself. By your creator loves you. The same way you've been able to extend that love. Victor, I love you.
Love you too. And so I think this was the first book I had this where he said, no one is coming to save you.
Oh, yes.
This was the first book where other self-help books started running on it. The fact that you have to accept the reality that no one is coming to save you. Only you. You have to know that you are equal to life. You're capable to life. As far as you're here. I always tell people, this is an analogy, I said, as far as you are that sperm that swam to that egg and nurtured, that means your creator knows that you are capable to life. You have already done the race to show that you are capable to this life we are. And if you understand that, you would face life like that. The Creator trusts you to be able to make it in life. That's why you're here.
And the Creator chose you. And remembering that
you're chosen.
We are created in His image.
Uniquely.
That's it.
Uniquely.
That's it. That's it.
It's been an amazing one.